Hi everyone, Peter Liciaga here, and welcome to episode 5 of your Mount Laurel Martial Arts Guy show. And I'm excited for today's show because I'm going to share with you some of my thoughts of martial arts for today, for today's parent. Now, I know when I started martial arts way back when I was about 9 years old, and I was living in the city, growing up in the streets. I was a kid from the Bronx, from the streets, and my reason for doing martial arts was basically for self-defense and to protect myself against, just the mean guys in the streets. And so, so I had a good reason to train martial arts way back then. What's interesting, the other day I put up a video, I think it was a video or an image, and it questioned why people would why are they doing martial arts today? And a lot of them were saying for self-defense. That's very, very interesting. But what's also equally interesting is that when a parent brings their child to our martial arts school, of course, you guys know I'm one of the master instructors at Dinoto Karate Center in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. And when a parent brings their child in for the first time, and we ask them, what do they hope for their child to get out of our program? Very few of them talk about self-defense. Many of them talk about focus, discipline, listening. Some would talk about bullying issues that are going on in their schools. But we have students coming in, parents bringing in their kids as young as 3.5 years old, all the way up through teens, and of course, in our school, we have parents that are training as well. So we are a family martial arts school. What I want to talk about today is from my experience, when I first started to now as a professional instructor. I've been teaching full-time since 1999. What I believe are the reasons why parents enroll their kids in martial arts today. Right now, it's 2018. Today, why they, and I have a list of about 14 things that I narrowed down to 14. I want to go through them quickly and share that with you. Let me ask you guys, why do you think a parent would enroll their child in martial arts? Ask you guys that. Now, I do have to apologize as I look at my monitor. My face is pretty beaten up. I have little scrapes all on my face, but that was from my training the other day. I train martial arts. I train hardcore. I'm training right now for my 7th degree master, and I'll be testing for that, or at least qualifying to test for that in 2024, because I just got my 6th degree in April 2017. And so I was training the other day, and I went hard, and it was exciting, and I get a little beaten up. So I want to apologize for all that. And trust me, our 3-year-olds, our teens, none of our students go through this kind of training. This is my training, and that's what I have to remind the students on. This is my training for 7th degree. Now, if they ever make it this far as almost a 60-year-old training for 7th degree, then maybe they'll have that much enthusiasm as I do when I train. Okay, so anyway, let me go ahead and go over my list. And I'm going to just give some thoughts on each section. I want to get through this quickly, and hopefully I'll maybe spend about 15 minutes on this, maybe 20 minutes, but I want to go through this quickly, just to give you some insight. Maybe it's not a surprise. If it is a surprise, let me know some of the things that I mentioned, if that's a surprise for you. But I believe that many of you guys will not see any of these things as a surprise to you. The number one thing on my list, I had to put it there, was self-defense. Simply because when I meet someone for the first time and ask them about martial arts, and the conversation comes up about martial arts, and I'm a martial arts instructor, it always ends up with self-defense and what's going on in the world today, from terrorism to the safety in schools, in environments, to shootings, to all kinds of things that are going on in the world that's basically making the news. And so many times the conversation talks about self-defense and self-awareness and being safe in dangerous situations. And so number one thing, I think a lot of times off the top is still self-defense. People see martial arts as a solution for self-defense, and it is. It is. And so I put that as number one. That's a given. Probably no surprises there. Number two I put on is focus. Discipline, paying attention, listening, following directions. That is, like I said earlier, many of our parents that come to our school to enroll their children are looking for that. More focus. I want my kid to listen better. I want them to follow direction. I want them to be able to pay attention. And I want them just to, when I ask them to do something, I want them to do it. They're not listening to me. They're not respecting me. So a lot of times parents will come in for that. That's their key thing, following direction and focus. So that would be number two. Number three is teamwork. A lot of times a great reason for people coming into martial arts is basically to learn teamwork. A lot of times our students will come in because they've tried other sports that are team sports and it just did not click with their child. They just did not like working in that environment. So when they come to martial arts, it's basically an individual activity, because when you go in there, it's you against you. Okay, how many push-ups can I do today? Well, you know what? Next time I come to class, I want to do better. So it's you becoming better. The challenge is you improving you. But that happens within a group. So everyone works together, starting with the instructors, the parents. We all work with the students to help them become better. So it is a team effort. And we do bring that attention to our students. Even though it's an individual effort and they have to put in the hard work, they have to do their best and forget the rest. But there's a team, there's team together, working together to help that student. So teamwork's there. So you can get that there. So if your child is not doing well in those other sports that are team sports, martial arts might be a place for them because they can see that it's on them. But at the same time, we'll teach them teamwork. And it's positive. I put right over here, positive. And it helps them to really learn how to interact with other kids, with the teachers. So that social interaction is there. We teach them how to respect each other, how to say hello, ma'am, hello, sir, how to say yes, sir, yes, ma'am, thank you. They bow in. All that ties into showing respect and really interacting in a positive way with the people around them. Very important. Another thing, a benefit of martial arts for today is the ability to have self-control, to be aware of what you're doing, and then to be able to make that powerful choice to control what you're doing. If you have a habit, a bad habit, and you recognize that you are aware of it, then you implement your discipline to control it, self-control. So it starts with self-awareness. So martial arts is incredible with that to help students become self-aware to the point where they could empower themselves with the power of choice. In that moment, they become self-aware of what they're doing. And if they recognize it's something that's destructive, that's not benefiting them, they could then choose to not do it, to control themselves. Very, very powerful. Another benefit to martial arts today is having the ability to physiologically to build your balance, to build your posture. Martial arts, because it's very physical, right away you'll see through jumping jacks, through the push-ups, through the kicks that we teach, through the physical activity, you'll see where you are. You'll become self-aware that hey, I need more balance here. I need to strengthen myself here. I don't stand tall. I don't sit upright, and so that will affect my ability to be perceived as someone confident. So we'll teach them how to stand tall, to keep their head up, even when they're tired. We tell them, especially when you're tired, to stand tall, to make that conscious effort, that choice to improve your posture simply by choosing to do that. And then you give the impression, you show confidence, so that if anyone, a bully, is looking for an easy target, they will not see you as an easy target simply because they see you as weaker because you look tired. Posture and balance, powerful things that we teach in martial arts that you can learn in other activities, but in martial arts, that's incorporated with everything else that we teach. Also, the ability to come to class and to learn about memorization, and through practice, through repetition, and learning how to retain what you learn. In martial arts, when you come to our class, you'll see that we will repeat things over and over and over again. What's cool about how we do it repetition, we add different drills in there that disguise the repetition. And so what we'll do is we'll add a fun drill. We will then, for instance, in high block. I have like thousands of ways to teach a high block. And so we'll make it fun. We'll have them do rolls. We'll have them do jumps. And then they end it with a high block. So we disguise the repetition. But through repetition, they remember it. They retain it. And so through that martial arts environment, that disciplined environment, that structured environment, they learn how to memorize things, to retain things. They learn the power of practice and repetition. Very important. And let me go ahead and start wrapping this up. There's a couple of things here. Of course, self-discipline. They learn how to discipline themselves by being self-aware. Also, easy thing here, physical fitness. They learn the value of healthy living, a healthy mindset, and taking care of their bodies, their minds, and also taking care of their emotions, being aware of themselves and building that up, building their confidence on that. This way they can get stronger and be more effective. And this is a progressive experience. As soon as they come to class, they start learning and they start realizing what they can do, and it builds. And so they become more self-disciplined through the repetition, through doing things, through realizing, hey, they know exactly what to do and they just simply do it. It's not a thought process anymore. Okay, and the next thing is coordination and motor skills. Especially with the younger kids, we focus on gross motor skills. As they get older and they get higher in rank, we become more focused on the fine motor skills. Like for instance, when they do a high block and when they're little champion, 3 or 4-year-old, we're happy if they put their arm over their head. Gross motor skill, the big moves. That's it. That's your high block. As they get higher in rank, we'll talk about the angle of the high block. So we'll talk about how you keep your hand closed, how the forearm is not flat but angled. So a lot of little details that takes fine motor skills. So we'll start building that up. So physiologically, they understand the moves in a big way. Then they'll start refining it over time, and that takes discipline, takes understanding, takes them thinking about it. So it's pretty cool to see students starting at 4, and after about 6 months to a year, they start really getting good, and they're getting their stances, the way they stand, their balance, they get stronger. But of course, when they go through those growth spurts, especially if we have students that will shoot up maybe 1 inch to 2 inches in height, and their bones grow so fast and their tendons are still trying to catch up to their bones, and they're awkward. They go through that awkward stage, and we prepare them for that. I said, look out, right now you're doing awesome, but as you grow, you might have some balancing issues. You say, my gosh, I was so great with this before, now I'm falling all over the place. But that's a natural thing. So we help them with that, building their coordination and their motor skills as they progress through the ranks. And of course, I'm going to be 57 years old. My balance and my strength, my flexibility, all that is being challenged because I'm getting older. And so I have to, where I am in my training, to be aware of my balance and how I'm trained this, so I can make sure I refine my coordination. Those of you that are up in the age like me know what I'm talking about. All right, moving on. Let me go ahead and move on to personal awareness and safety. Again, self-defense, but personal safety. Being self-aware enough to know where you are, what you're thinking, how you're thinking, what your emotions are. Martial arts will help you to be aware, not only of your surroundings and the people that are around you, but more importantly, be self-aware. How are you thinking? How's your body? And I speak about this in self-defense when I talk about self-defense and being self-aware to the point where today, am I able to run today, or do I have an injury that I got yesterday that limits my ability to run today? I have to be self-aware enough to know that. So I need to know where I am today so that as I go out into the world and there's a situation that comes up, I'm aware of how I can move to action to go to safety, to get to safety. Personal awareness and safety. And of course, we spoke about respect, but not only respect for others, but more importantly, self-respect. Am I taking care of myself? Am I taking care of my body? Am I building my mind, taking care of my mind? Am I aware of my emotions and taking care of that so that I'm staying healthy physically, mentally and emotionally, having self-respect and self-awareness to my own abilities to take care of myself. That's a way to to show self-respect to yourself. And also self-esteem, confidence building, having value within yourself, of not so much. It's so easy for us to focus on what we cannot do, on the negatives, and we totally bypass all the positives, all our strengths, the things that we're good at. I do it constantly, not as much as I used to. I'm so much better at it now, but I look at adults, especially teenagers and definitely kids. It's so easy to look at the things that we do wrong. Like, for instance, I can look at right now when I look at my viewer, it's so easy to see this one little mark on my face, this little mark here. But yet, my whole face is there, okay? It's just that little mark. Okay, are you that person that when you look at someone, what they're wearing, and they're wearing a great outfit, but they have a little speck of a lint on it, and that draws your attention as opposed to their outfit? We sometimes do that to ourselves. We look at the little flaws that we have, and we focus so much on that little flaw, and we try to get rid of it. And sometimes you just can't. That's just part of who you are. That makes you human. And we totally bypass and overlook all this greatness that we have about us, our talents, our gifts, our ability to have compassion for other people, to have empathy, to just be this great person. We bypass that. So in martial arts, I'm definitely going through a phase where I'm teaching our instructors that, and it's feeding through down to our students, where just positive reinforcement. And I tell all our instructors when they first start helping us that their job is only to find good. They are a good finder. So don't make any corrections on students. Just look at what they're doing and find what they're doing that's great, and let them know, hey, Joey, that's great. I love what you're doing. I love the way you do your block. You go over your head. Or you talk to one of the black belts, sir, that's awesome what you're doing there. I love it. I like your effort. You're putting a lot of work into it. I can tell you're a hard worker. So always looking for the great in people, and it is work. It's discipline to look past people's flaws. It's so easy to do. It's so easy for us to fall into that trap. And so personal awareness and of your self-value of yourself and of others. Okay, moving on here, behavior at home. One thing that we do at martial arts, we talk about focusing rules. We also talk about leadership skills, and we encourage all our students, because most of our students, because our environment is designed that way. When you come into our academy, starting with Master Dinoto, Mrs. Dinoto, myself, Master Klein, all our instructors that have been there for a while, that we're going to pump you up. We're going to create an environment where you will be successful. And we're going to challenge you. You're going to work hard. We're going to encourage you. We're going to coach you, mentor you. We'll hold your hand, move you along. We'll push you. We'll do whatever it takes so that you just see the greatness that you are, and then you'll rise above whatever challenges are going on in your day. Now, when we train you on the floor with that mindset, we encourage you to take what you learn on the floor, and when you bow out, to take what you've learned on the floor, to take it with you when you leave the academy. When you go home, take what you've learned on the floor about you, and then be that incredible you at home, at school, at work, wherever you go. Be black belt strong. Have this self-esteem, this value. And it is a battle when you go out into the world, and all of you will agree, everyone's going to be looking for your flaws. When you say, hey, I had this hope that I want to do this, there are going to be so many people that come back, oh, you can't do this. They're going to say things that almost try to derail you on your hopes and your dreams. So you have to have discipline to see past all that, to ignore it, and just to move forward. Be black belt strong, do your best, forget the rest, work hard, and be willing to do whatever it takes to uncover what you need to do to move forward in your dream, your hopes, and your vision. And so we want to make sure that people, what you learn on the floor, you take it with you. And we encourage all our students to do that. Just don't do your best on the floor and forget the rest and then leave it there on the floor. Our mats are designed to build you up so that when you leave new. You leave with a different mindset, more encouraged, more empowered. So we want to make sure that all our students know that. Again, martial arts for today, going into tomorrow. This is good stuff. I love it. That's why I love teaching, and I love seeing those aha moments in our students. The last thing is this. I love the fact that, we've worked hard. We being Master Dinoto, Erica Dinoto, Master Klein, Trevor Klein, and all our other instructors, my daughter Alexandra Liciaga, also Colin McGill, Daniel Altschuler. We have the Carrera family. We have the Boyle family. Of all these students, these assistant instructors and instructors that help us create this environment that we can share our martial arts experience with the hope that people will come in and build up and be empowered to go out into a world and to be the best that they can be. And so we create a safe environment. We create an environment that when you come in, you're going to be nurtured. You're going to be built up. You're going to be encouraged, inspired, motivated. And that's the environment we've created. Martial arts. Martial arts goes way beyond the kicks and the punches, way beyond the blocks, the chokes, and the arm bars, way beyond the board breaking. All these things are great. They're a powerful tool for martial arts training. But at the end of the day, it's the person that you become, the person that I've become. I remember when I first started martial arts when I was 9 years old, who I was, the struggles that I was going through at that age. And then as I got older, all my struggles and how martial arts factored into my everyday life to now where, I'm living a life that I could only dream of. And I did dream of this, that I would be in front of people teaching. And I remember, I've shared the story before, and for me, it's a big aha moment. I love to remember it because today I'm excited of what I'm doing today and teaching martial arts and changing lives through martial arts. When I was 9 years old, like at 9 and 10 years old, I'm working on my stretch in my room. My sister comes in, sits down in front of me while I'm working on this stretch because I want to be another Bruce Lee. And my sister asks me, says, "Peter, why are you doing all this? Why are you working so hard?" I'd lock myself in my room and just train. And I told my sister, well, one day I'm going to be teaching martial arts. And this was way back. So here I am now living that dream. So martial arts has done a lot for me. I'm now living the life as a martial arts professional. I am being paid to share the knowledge, and it's exciting. I'm very excited about it. So thought I'd share that with you on this episode. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Again, I'm curious which of the things that I said really resonated, jumped out at you, that you could relate to, or was it maybe an aha moment for you, an aha thought for you? I know right now it's hard to see martial arts beyond the self-defense, physical self-defense of it, or the spectacle of it because of the movies, the MMA, the UFCs, all the competition, the wrestling, all that. That's all the spectacle, all that is fun. But if you put all the spectacle to the side, at the end of the day is the human being. And martial arts is all about building up the person. And so I'm excited about that. Thank you once again for spending this time with me. If you want to connect with me, I'm easy to find. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. I'm everywhere. Just Google my name, Peter Liciaga. You'll find me. I am your Mount Laurel martial arts guy. You can even Google that, Mount Laurel martial arts guy, and you'll find me. Okay? Other than that, guys, I'll talk to you guys soon. Enjoy your day. See you on the mats.